It's Friday. There are college basketball games. Apparently, there are 56 of them that have odds. Let's talk about what the algorithm says. I'm looking at it for the first time right now. I got to run. It's not going to be that long of a video. But what's nice is that the algorithm's been pretty predictable when it comes to certain things. Oh, I just I need to do something. So I can kind of give you some very knowledgeable advice on how the algorithm presents the games and what would probably be reasonable picks for the day. So let's do that. All right, first of all, our pot of gold picks are home underdogs. Hey, there are four of them. How about that? We have Western Carolina against Maryland, Baltimore County. Look at this, really low margins though. All of them have really low margins. But they are home and they are underdogs. And what on earth is Kennesaw State plus 1,000 over Belmont? Yikes. All right, so one thing I did not do today because I didn't have time is I didn't revisit these percentages to see if we could have fixed some games from yesterday, like the Coastal Carolina versus UNC Wilmington game was one that we missed pretty badly that I wanted to do some work with. I just haven't had time to do that work today, so I'll do that for tomorrow. But of course, things may still be a little off here early in the season. This is so nuts that I wouldn't take Kennesaw State to win unless you just for a little bit on a straight bet for fun. But maybe the plus 14.5, I shouldn't say maybe, the plus 14.5 is probably a very good pick given that this is a home underdog we think will win. So I would not recommend doing a parlay on all of these. But of course, never listen to me. I always listen to the algorithm. But they're straight bets is what they are. However, these three... you could consider taking all of them plus the points on a parlay, a round robin, I should say, not a parlay. You don't want to lose one of them and lose everything when they're all underdogs way down here on the list. But there looks like there's some action that should be made on these games, but they do have really low margins, so expect close games and them covering these points that they get to take points. That's probably pretty good. So, Western James Madison at George Mason. I could go to this game. I don't know what time it is. Oh, we'll figure it out. All right, so those are our home underdogs, are those four. But that's crazy. If we pick off Kennesaw State over Belmont, I'm going to laugh. We'll find out. Kennesaw State has one more game than Belmont. That might be pushing their statistics a little higher because they have an extra game of stats. So even more of a reason they probably don't win this game, but probably do cover. So we'll see. Now, those are our home underdogs. Let's also talk about just our home teams because throughout the past, we've been doing really, really well with our home teams, winning sometimes 90% of our games in the day with home teams. So are there any reasonable lines on our home teams as we look top down here? And first thing I see is San Diego's only minus 238 against Cal State Fullerton. That looks pretty good. We think they're going to cover win the game by 23 points. They're a strong team. That's kind of a lot of points, 5.5, but the minus 238 would be good for a round robin, San Diego to win, because that's our strongest pick with a reasonable lineup here. Bad lines, bad lines, bad lines. This is your big parlay, right? If you do everything on the money line, it's like these top 8 or something, or really everything above 30%, you get 9 picks on there at really bad lines with the exception of the 238 in there. This probably pays like 2.5 or 3 to 1 maybe. I think 2.5 to 1 probably. So we think those teams will all win. Here we have Manhattan at minus 160 over North Alabama. That's kind of interesting. That's actually a very good line. Thinks they win by 12, and they have to cover 3.5. So. Okay there. Then Merrimack and the Lehigh, it's got covered 8.5. We think they'll cover the spread by 4, meaning we think they'll win by 12.5. I don't know. It's starting to get kind of iffy down here because now we're at margins that are less than 30%. Here we have a minus 105 for Duquesne against Northeastern. So Duquesne has lost for us twice this year. So they're on my shit list. And I wouldn't pick them here. Algorithm says yes, though. And I don't know if what kind of team Northeastern is. So careful there because Duquesne's already lost for us this year. Robert Morris, Lamar, and Stetson. Lamar and Stetson lower scoring game. Why don't we have Lamar here as an under? Oh, they're not an underdog because they're not greater than plus 100. But this is kind of an underdog actually because they're even money. So that's okay. That's kind of almost one of our pot of gold picks. Is a very good, it's not really underdog line, but it is even money. So that's okay. South Dakota Southern. Where's your Western Carolina? There's your Georgia. There's your Kennesaw. There's your James Madison. Okay, so let's look at the away teams real quick and understand we have 31 away teams. Holy mackerel! All right, well. Wow. So what we can say about away teams is that they do not win all the time. And we don't even win half of our games here, which is kind of funny. We don't even win half these games. You can expect that that of these 31 that we probably at no bump right here, that we're going to win games maybe up to about here-ish. Like really these ones probably win, okay? Like Weber State is probably going to win. Everything up around 30%, these are probably going to win. And if any of these are underdogs, let's see which ones are, at high margins, you want to take them with the points. That's what I was going to say, is we do win more on the spread with these underdog teams. So I do think there is some confidence here to take Norfolk State plus 9.5. To take UMass Lowell plus 3.5 against GW, really. Towson's better this year, plus 5. Okay. I mean, here's a 29% margin. Purdue Fort Wayne plus 10.5. Everything up here, there's actually a good amount of points here. This is not a bad idea. Yale's good. I guess Vermont. Oh man, Vermont's a good team too. My alma mater. All right, so all the way up to about maybe these 4 plus the points, especially where you get a lot of points, because it's tougher to cover a lot of points. Just think mathematically, right? So there's some opportunity here, but these teams are not going to win. The way you should really look at the away teams is we should apply a bump now. Let's apply a 20% bump and then look at what that does. Do we have any new home underdogs? The answer is yes. When we apply a 20% bump, all of a sudden we have a bunch of underdogs that could potentially, when we get all these down here, and taking some of these with the points is a great idea because they're home and they're gonna win better. So you've got all the way down. Now you've got Clemson, Pennsylvania, Northwestern, Temple. Looking at doing round robins with these plus the points is probably going to be beneficial too. It's actually a really, really interesting day. So if you do one thing today, do we have a pick of the day? The logic is to say you take San Diego to win. I don't like the 5.5. That's a little too much, but they are supposed to apparently just crush it out of the park and win this game a ton. So it has the highest margin, and logically it's appropriate to say that the pick of the day is a team that is the highest on the list that is bettable. So I guess I can recommend taking San Diego minus 5.5 if you need to get the minus 10 or almost even money on your bet. If you just need to pick a team that wins today, I would say take them just to win, but doesn't pay as much. And our pot of gold picks, wow, with the bump too. Hold on a second. We need to redo that with the bump. Oh, Western Carolina against Maryland, Baltimore County. I don't know. See, these they're just closer games. I think you're probably going to win. We're probably going to win at least 2 out of 4 of these. And so you can see when you make straight bets on 2 out of 4 of these, you will win money overall no matter which 2 you win. So it's not really round robin material unless you're willing to lose a few and not make money if you don't really catch all of them or 3 out of 4. But I don't know, this could be a fun day. I don't know, maybe you won some money yesterday because we had such a good day yesterday, so maybe you can play around. All right, so that's the update for today, and we'll be back with a recap late tonight. And I got to keep drinking coffee. It's an early morning. All right, good luck, everyone. May all your picks be winning.